Good evening. A note left on the windscreen of an ambulance saying "You may be saving lives, but don't block my drive" has gone viral on social media after being shared by a West Midlands paramedic.
Tasha Starkey posted the picture after they'd been to help a man in Small Heath. The 42-year-old later died. Our reporter Mark McQuillan is at the spot where he was treated. Mark, it's fair to say there's been a pretty strong response to this tweet, hasn't there?
Yes, as you said, there has been a very strong reaction. This story's really escalated over the course of the weekend following this tweet that was posted by someone from West Midlands Ambulance Service containing the content of a note left on one of their vans parked here late on Friday afternoon, effectively complaining about where they had parked it. And since that tweet was posted, it has been shared thousands of times online. The power of social media very much at work here. And also the invaluable work of the emergency services and what they do, very much brought into sharp focus tonight. A small note from a disgruntled resident which has caused a big reaction since it was shared on social media by a West Midlands Ambulance Service staff member on Friday night. Unbelievable, insane and shocking have been among the responses. West Midlands Ambulance Service were called to this part of Small Heath on Friday afternoon to reports of a man in a critical condition, and such was the urgency of the situation they parked their vehicle along this stretch of the road. And whilst they weren't blocking any vehicles getting past, one of the residents took exception to where the ambulance was parked and left the note. The patient the paramedics were treating at the time, a 42-year-old man, later died. The centre that was caring for that patient says this whole episode has been difficult for his staff, but much worse for the family involved.
Given the fact that he was so acutely unwell, the fact that he was clearly struggling for his life at that time, and that somebody had been so inconsiderate to do this. My staff are quite a robust group, but I think even they were astounded by somebody's lack of insensitivity when somebody was so desperately unwell.
Parking in general remains a prominent issue in Small Heath. A local councillor has even described it as atrocious. Residents say there are simply too many cars and not enough spaces.
On this particular road, it's absolutely horrendous because everybody's got larger drives, so you can't block anybody's drive. And then you get into situations where you're trying to find somewhere to park. You might have a disability, an elderly member of person in your car, and you can't really do anything about it.
Every household have more than one car. That's the problem.
A problem may be, but most will agree issuing terse notes to the emergency services is not the right way to go about tackling Small Heath's ongoing parking issues.
Well, Mark, generally people not impressed with this note, but what do we know about the person who actually wrote it?
Well, we haven't been able to speak to that particular person as yet. It was a point I put to the rehab centre boss that you heard from in my report. He said there'd been no contact with that person, no apology to them or the emergency services. But what he said they would prefer is, instead of an apology to the centre or the emergency services, is an apology to the family who lost a loved one here on Friday night.
Mark, thank you very much.
The